In boxing, the heavyweight division always hits the hardest. Whilst Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk hold all the jewels, one contender stands alone as the biggest threat to the champions.
Everybody else is scared of you!
A man who has not once tasted defeat, who knows no backward step and never retreats, who crushes whatever stands at his feet.
Joe Joyce by knockout!
They call him the Juggernaut. Unbeaten, Joe Joyce is on a mission to become the heavyweight king with his granite chin, thudding power and relentless engine. It is only a matter of time before this Olympic silver medalist gets his hands on the gold. Or is it? Whilst the Juggernaut has steamrolled his way to mandatory challenger, there is now a great wall that stands in his way. A gigantic block that nobody has yet to truly climb over. The Big Bang. Zhilei Zhang has been watching, waiting, wanting, just like Joyce. He has silver, he plans to make gold. Power, punch resistance, heart. A colossus that should have his own position in the queue to the world's heavyweight championship. That was unfairly taken from him. On Saturday, April 15th, two giants collide as unbeaten heavyweight juggernaut Joe Joyce takes on Zhilei Big Bang Zhang at London's Copper Box Arena. Only one giant will be left standing.
Yes, good afternoon, welcome to Spitalfields here in London, welcome to the official weigh-in and welcome to a huge night of boxing which is coming Saturday night live on BT Sport and ESPN Plus. Two absolute giants headline it, Joe Joyce and Zhilei Zhang, and I've got a giant of boxing broadcasting. How about it, Andy? How are you?
Yeah, very well, thanks. Very well.
What are you making of this fight? The build-up's been, I don't know, quite funny at times. What do you make of it?
I've loved it right from the start. Right from the moment it was made, it's just a great option for both of them, particularly for Zhang, given that he's coming in off a loss. I thought he deserved to get the decision against Hrgovic.
Yeah.
Not everybody did, but I felt that he did deserve to get it. So I was pleased for him that he got a good opportunity straight away. And for Joyce, he's kind of in this state of limbo, but he wants to keep taking proper fights. And they're just two professionals where nothing is personal. They're tough men. They signed the contract. I'm going to come in and try and knock you out. You're going to come in and try and knock me out. And we're both fine with it. There's no trash talk, but they're not pretending they're best friends either. I like a little bit of a language barrier sometimes.
Yes,
it gives the
same,
fighter
honestly,
a bit of
same.
mystique, doesn't it?
Yes.
You know, you look at Usyk and Golovkin and Loma and other fighters down the years, Duran, you know, fighters who you just never quite know what's going on with them because you can't ask them maybe what you really want to ask them. But yeah, it's been really good fun. And I think it will deliver.
You said there, Andy, that there's been no trash talk, but I'm certain I heard Zhilei Zhang say chat get zanged earlier in the week.
I did.
You can't get heavier than that, can you?
No, I did hear that. I suspect that that there was a mastermind behind that. I've heard that there was somebody who was trying to make sure that happened during the course of the week. And it's not. It might sound like quite an easy thing to do. To just, well, you know, they want to promote the fight, I'll get him to say this, but I could guarantee you it's not that straightforward. So whoever that was, congratulations on getting it done.
It remains a mystery to this day. Tell me this, weight-wise, what are you expecting from Joe Joyce today? We've said he looks a little bit leaner in the face. What do you think?
Well, he was 19 stone 5 in his last fight. I wouldn't be surprised if he comes in maybe half a stone lighter than that, because his body shape does look a bit different. I was chatting to his strength and conditioning guy yesterday, Larry Wade, who I know a little bit, and they've been working together when Joe's been in Vegas for quite a while, but I think this is the first time that he's kind of flown to Fight Week as an official member of the team. And Larry's, you know, he's with Sean Porter for a long time, Badu Jack, Rabesi Ramirez, who won the world title a couple of weeks ago. He's really, really good at what he does, doesn't court that much publicity. And he was saying, listen, what I've been saying to him is, another bicep curl is not going to win us this fight. He wants to get him a little bit leaner, a little bit more supple, a bit more elastic. And he's quite agile, Joe. People make fun of him and say that he's this big stiff robot, but big stiff robots can't do backflips or
Absolutely
capoeira.
right. Absolutely right.
There's more to him than people think.
And look, and he's a monstrous puncher. We can see that now. He's actually got the best heavyweight knockout percentage in the Ring Magazine top 10. But I've sort of also said that to bring in my next guest, who is
Beautifully done.
a monstrous puncher in the middleweight division. He currently has the Commonwealth title and a very nice watch. Hamza Shiraz, please jump in the middle. How are we, sir?
Very well. How are you, Dev?
I'm good. I'm loving the look.
Thank you.
Well
thank
done.
You. I think I'm in south of France with this look. No.
How's things, mate? I mean, it's just good to see you. The last time we saw you was, I mean, you were having a really good performance against River Wilson Ben. How you been?
Yeah, no, all good, Dev. All good. Training hard, working hard now. Obviously, I had my hand surgery. Had a bit of time off, just recovering. But now I'm back in the full swing of things and ready to go again. Hopefully soon.
And Andy, it was quite a standout performance from Hamza against River Wilson Bent. We've seen River Wilson Bent recently against Amo Williams, where I don't know, he looked okay in that fight. So what did you make of that? You know, with that extra sort of data.
Yeah, it's a performance that gets better with hindsight, because I was at that fight the other week and I thought Wilson Bent gave a real good account of himself.
Yeah.
He caused Amo Williams, some problems, made him think about things a bit, and this is a very highly rated fighter who's, I think, at number 3 with the WBA. You can make of the rankings what you like, can't you, to an extent, but people are excited about him, and it made your performance look, it did, it made it look better, and you'll have a close eye on Saturday, because whoever wins out Denzel and Kieran Smith is, as they say on the circulars, has to wave grace and defend against Hamza Shiraz.
That's it.
Well, it's exactly that, and it's one of the reasons that I wanted to have Hamza Shiraz around, just in the same way that I got Denzel Bentley around when you were fighting as well. What do you make of this fight, the British title defence, Denzel against Kieran Smith? Tell us what you think about it.
It's a great fight. Listen, it's a great fight. Kieran, he certainly ain't no mug. He certainly he's had a great amateur pedigree. I think he represented his country and whatnot. So he's very good at what he does, keeping it long, keeping it basic, and he specialises in it. But at the end of the day, this is pro boxing, and Denzel's just come from a it was a loss, but it was a good performance against one of the, or you could say the best southpaw in the division. So really and truly, I don't think Kieran Smith will give him any problems or anything. I reckon he'll get him out there within 6 rounds.
Okay, I mean, look, it's exactly that. One of the things Kieran Smith said when I asked him what he brings to the fight, he talked about how he's tall and how he's a southpaw.
Yeah.
But Denzel Bentley literally just fought the southpaw.
Exactly,
so
of the
he
division.
shouldn't have, in theory, too much to worry about. Hamza.
Yeah, no, not at all. And I suppose this is boxing. You can't overlook anything at the end of the day. And if you look at it from Kieran's point of view, he's got nothing to lose. He's got everything to gain. He's coming here. If he wins, he wins, and if you don't, you don't. It's really not that deep. But at the end of the day, if you're in Denzel's shoes, you need to put on a good performance, and you need to keep stepping on.
And in terms of that Janibek fight,
Yep.
what did you make of it? Because I'm almost certain, and I'm not stirring it up, I'm almost certain you thought Janibek was going to win in the build-up. Many people did. He did win indeed.
Yeah.
But I don't think you expected that sort of performance from Denzel. Tell me if I'm wrong.
Nah, no one. I don't think no one did, to be fair, really and truly, if we're being honest. But like I said, he gave a good account of himself, and when you're mixing it on that level, and you know you can mix it on that level, you're mentally, it will put you in instead to like eventually go on and win them. So hopefully me and Denzel can get it on as well very soon.
So you're looking for the Denzel Bentley fight yourself?
Listen, I'll be honest with you, Dev. 160 with Frank Warren Promotions is myself, Nathan Heaney, and Denzel. I'm sure there's no one else. So listen, I've said it, I've called it out on Twitter many times. Listen, at the end of the day, I want to be the best 160 who's with Frank Warren, and I'm willing to put it all on line.
Listen, Andy, it would be a great fight, wouldn't it? Hamza Shiraz, Denzel Bentley. I mean, my mouth is watering. I can see your mouth watering a tad as well.
No, it is. It's a really good fight. And sometimes when these fights get made by the board, they don't always happen.
Yeah.
Because one team decides that another route is better. And we've seen that in recent times with someone like Anthony Yard, for example, bypassing that British route. It didn't quite fall right in the end with eliminators and final eliminators. But you'll go straight into a British title fight, and for Denzel, I don't see any way that he won't want to do it, because he's in an unusual situation whereby to win a British title outright, you need to win 4 British title fights,
Okay.
and this would be his 4th.
Okay.
But one needs to be a mandatory, and he's never had a mandatory.
Understood.
And you would be his mandatory.
Yep.
So I'm going to check this with the board later, but as I understand it, he needs to win on Saturday, then he would need to beat you to win that belt outright, which would just be an extra reason to stay at British level if he was thinking about moving on. But what other fight could he get that would be bigger than,
domestically? I don't think
there isn't one.
That's interesting you said that, Andy, because I'm pretty sure I've heard Denzel Bentley in Fight Week say he is looking to take that belt outright with him with this win. So, we'll have to check that with the board there if you think that there is one more extra fight and it could be Mr. Shiraz here as well.
Hopefully. But Frank was saying in an interview, I think, a couple of days ago that the fight's bigger than the British title. I agree. I do agree. So whether that doesn't happen and it happens for an eliminator for a world title or something, then it definitely does make a lot more sense.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what tends to happen, right? You get to the British title route, the fight gets ordered, and then you're like, what if it was an eliminator?
Yeah.
What if we could get, a European or this, get that? You see how Daniel Dubois and Joe Joyce fought. It was the British, Commonwealth, European. You tend to get more titles on the line. I think Chris Eubank Jr., Billy Joe Saunders, more than the British. There are other titles involved as well. So we shall see. Tell me about the main event, Hamza. You must be a fan of Joe Joyce, right?
Yeah, of course. I think after this week, I'm a fan of Zhang as well. I think after all the social media stints and whatnot, he's a very likeable character, isn't he, Dave? He's a very likeable guy, and I think he's got all the ingredients to make a great fight. Listen, I don't think Joyce has fought anyone like Zhang. Like, he's bringing something new. He's bringing questions, but then again, the juggernaut's the juggernaut, and I think he ain't going to have any problems and he'll get the job done.
Well, what have you seen from Zhang that you liked? And also, tell me this, right? You said that, he's made you laugh, etc. He looks like a great character. Has it been too friendly?
It almost has, but it's them ones, isn't it? When they are so friendly, they always end up in a great tear-up. But I tell you what I like from him is how he positions himself when he fights. Listen, he's a very
Zhang,
he likes to lead with his front hand. I was watching it. He likes to lead a lot with his front hand, and he likes to make his opponent throw first before he throws. So I think he's got the perfect opponent in Joe Joyce in doing so. But listen, I think being hit with Joe's is being hit by Joe is going to be a total different story.
What are you expecting, Andy, from Zhang? Because he is quite aggressive. He says he's going to be aggressive in this fight as well. Can you be aggressive against Joe Joyce? What do you think?
I think you have to be, but I think the problem he might have is that whenever I've seen him, what he tends to do is he'll be aggressive for 30 seconds, 45 seconds, maybe a minute, and then he'll maybe look to kind of nick a bit of a breather. He doesn't really fight every second of the 3-minute round, and not many heavyweights do, but I think Joyce does.
Yeah. One of the very few.
Yeah, Joyce, he's one of the very few, and I think that could be the problem that Zhang has, is that he'll be able to match him for maybe a minute of the round, but then when he wants to kind of step off, and most other guys would agree to do the same, he's going to be in with somebody who won't, and I think that could be a real issue for him. But what he's also got on his side is the fact that I think if you're going to hurt Joyce, you're going to have to hit him with something maybe a bit unusual.
Sledgehammer, you have to get a sledgehammer.
Yeah, but I mean, he definitely can't see it coming, can he? If he can set himself to take a shot, then I think it is pretty much impossible to knock him out. But it's the ones that you don't set yourself for that cause the problems. True. And from a southpaw, from a different angle, he talked during the week about, Zhang maybe catching Hrgovic around the back of the head a little bit. That's something he's obviously thinking about. It's something like that is going to cause... It's going to hurt Joyce if anybody ever manages it. But I loved that line yesterday, everybody's got a plan until they punch me in the face and nothing happens. That was great. Because it's, it was funny, but it's absolutely true.
Completely true.
It hasn't happened to you yet, but at some point...
Joe Joyce punching Hamza Shiraz?
At some point when you go up through the levels, you will find yourself in a fight where you hit somebody with stuff...
And nothing happens.
And previously it always has, and then you have to think to yourself...
Hang on a minute.
Okay.
Yeah.
It must be very discouraging, though. I'm sure, say it hasn't happened in the ring yet, you do tend to just knock people out, but it must have happened in sparring. And also, your first few fights where you were sort of coming through, you didn't have a knockout for a few fights, right? So you probably were hitting them as hard as you can. You couldn't get them out there. There was no man strength there yet.
100%. It's I suppose what like Andy said, once you're... Because I think I'm 11 fight knockout streak now. I think that when the day comes that I don't manage to hurt someone and knock him out straight away, or or not. It doesn't dishearten you, but it makes you think. You got to almost go to like a plan B kind of thing. So, but I suppose that's how great fighters become great fighters, right? By being put in them situations, them scenarios, and overcoming them. So I'm looking forward to it, but let's see how it goes. Hopefully not anytime soon, though.
Well, let's see how it goes. Andy, tell me this. You watch all the fights, right? You watch all the heavyweight fights. You've got a good understanding of who can do what. Where do you fit Joe Joyce in your kind of heavyweight picture as we speak today?
Well, I mean, he's right up there. I was asked to do some rankings the other day, and I didn't have him in my top 5. I had him at number 6, but because for me, kind of body of work and best wins is a thing. So I had Ruiz ahead of him because Ruiz has been unified heavyweight champion of the world, and he's beaten Anthony Joshua, and Joe Joyce has yet to do anything like that. So there's a logic to it. But do I think Joyce would beat Ruiz? Yeah, I do actually. But in terms of the way I do it, in my very pedantic anal way,
who they fought,
Joyce is in at number 6. But he's a hard night's work for anyone, and I know that's a cliche, but he is, because we're all thinking at some point someone's going to hit him clean, catch him with one that he's not set for, like I said, and that he will go down, because everybody does. But it hasn't even remotely happened.
No.
Not even remotely.
We've seen him hurt the body a bit from Brian Jennings.
Yeah, to the body a little bit, but other than that, there's been nothing going on there at all. And I've been at those fights against Takam and Parker, and with Parker, there were some people who were questioning, should Andy Lee have let it go on as long as he did, but how could he not? Because Parker was just hitting him with massive clean shots, and you're thinking to yourself, at some point, surely
something's
going to happen. But it didn't. And that's the fascination about him for me. But it's not like he has to do it that way, because against Dubois he didn't do that. He was a bit more wary of the power, and he didn't do that, and he boxed more. He's not a one-trick pony. He's got more in his locker than people give him credit for. I mean, throw him in with any of them, and you can't be sure what would happen. You just can't. You might have a strong suspicion that Fury would beat him, that Wilder would beat him, that Usyk would beat him, but I would still want to see it.
Yeah, no, look, it was interesting what you said there about Joseph Parker and how Andy Lee couldn't really pull him out because he was throwing his hardest punches, landing often, landing heavy, landing hard. Like, what more do you want the guy to do, right? But yeah, look, that was a kind of breakout performance, a breakout win for Joe Joyce as well. It feels like, because there's so much going on in the heavyweight division, there's like fights not happening, there's fighters calling out other fighters, and then fights don't happen. It feels like he's kind of like the shining light that's coming through that the British public can get behind. Are you kind of feeling that?
100%. He's got that likeable character as well, and on top of that, he can fight and he's knocking people out. I mean, what isn't there to like about him? And I think if we're looking at realistically, we're not looking at the next Anthony Joshua in terms of outside of the ring, because he's different, and that's what makes him who he is. But there's nothing not to like about the guy.
Well, and what's your top 5 heavyweights then? We've got a taste of Andy's there. I'm going to get a solid sort of list from him shortly.
I had Wilder above Usyk, by the way. I had Fury, Wilder, Usyk, Joshua, Ruiz. Ruiz / Joyce, as I explained. But I've got Wilder above Usyk because I just think on body of work at heavyweight, Wilder, even though he's lost to Fury twice, has very nearly beat him twice. But most people have got that the other way around.
Yeah, it's interesting what you say there, because he's the closest that anyone's come to beating Tyson Fury, who's the number 1. So surely you have to give him credit for that, right? Yeah,
I think so, exactly. That's exactly why I've got him at 2.
So what are you saying? What's your top 5?
I've got Fury, Usyk, Wilder, Joshua and Joyce.
Okay, so Joyce creeps into the top
Joyce,
5.
He's got to, right?
Of Hamza Shiraz. I think he's got to. What about the top 5 middleweights in the country? What are you saying, Hamza?
In the country, you go Hamza Shiraz.
What about the world scene at middleweight? Because it's interesting, isn't it? Because you've got Charlo, who most people seem to agree is probably...
He's been extremely inactive, though.
Yeah, but he's been very inactive, as his brother has been, as a lot of those PBC guys can be. Golovkin's just vacated the WBA and the IBF, which is kind of an interesting move, maybe with a view to trying to make that fight with Charlo. We've got Alan Canuli with the WBO. I mean, it's opened up a bit, hasn't it?
It has opened up a bit, and it's a division that I'm very grateful to be in, to be fair, because I think by the time I get there, by the time I fight for an eliminator or do get there, I think, like you said, the division will be totally open. I think the only one who'll be leading the way at the time will be Johnny Beck, unless he gets beat. I can't see that happening anytime soon. But yeah,
do you rate him as the number one, Janibek, then?
I rate Charlo as a number one,
right?
Then Johnny, because there is no one else to rate, really and truly, right?
In terms of world title, disappearing, it's all
And there's a lot. I've mixed it with all the boys out there sparring. I understand fighting is a total different thing, so I'm just looking forward to see how it goes, Dev.
Yeah, look, we are looking forward to seeing this as well. And one of the things that you have done since, well, it's been quite a few fights now, you've completely relocated over to America in terms of your training camps. Joe Joyce does the same thing. He goes over to Vegas, you're in LA.
Yeah.
What are the benefits of doing that? Tell us.
I'll tell you, the whole reason why I done it is because, look, you look at all the British fighters, right, all the great ones who have won world titles and whatnot, 9 times out of 10, when they take a loss at world level, they relocate to America anyway. They really go to the great trainers out there. They want to pick up new things. So I thought,
Amir Khan, Freddie Roach, right?
Exactly. So I thought, why not do that when I can, if I get the financial backing to do so? And I was fortunate enough to get that back in, and here we are, 5 camps in LA, and I'm just picking up, learning new things every day when I'm out there.
But what are the actual benefits? So I understand that it was a good thing to do but what is it? What was it different to what you were learning here in the UK?
American gyms are different, aren't they?
Literally. Like, I remember when I first walked in there and I had my first sparring session, I'm telling you, everyone was lining up to get a piece of me. And you got to remember, I was fresh meat at the time. And you see one thing over there, they love inside fighting. They live for inside fight, especially the gym I'm at, Tengus. They live for it. And I remember I couldn't quite mix it with him. I was sparring a Russian, Peter Kamakov. He was a Olympian at
good
the
amateur.
time. Yeah, very good fighter. And I remember the first spar I had with him, really, he absolutely kicked my ass. I remember going back home and I was really upset, like, I've got to do something about this. Then 3 weeks later, it was just a total different spar. So, number one, you get the good get sparring out there. Number two is the knowledge of the coaches, having someone like Joe Goosen around. What you learn, as much as you learn inside the ring, you learn outside the ring. How to live like a fighter, how to just study tapes and what to look for when you study certain things. So it's the whole generalization of it over there. For me, it's a lot better.
Yeah, and look, and we can see the effects that it's having. I mean, you're just literally knocking everyone out. It's going very well. Andy, why do we see so many UK fighters go over to America? We've heard a glimpse of it there from Hamza. We saw Amir Khan, as soon as he took a loss, he went over, he found Freddie Roach as well. Why do you think this is?
I think it's a combination of things, really. I think sometimes it is quite difficult to find a trainer who's the right fit for you in your local area. If you can do, then great. And if you like being at home during camp and you like that familiarity and you like having your family around, again, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
But what people do often like to do is take themselves away for camp and really separate themselves from all of that stuff. And if you're going to do that, then you may as well take it to the extreme and really do it and commit to it.
Yep.
and make that journey across the Atlantic. If you find someone who you feel like you've got a good connection with, because even though it can be a new relationship and you might not know each other as people that well, you need to know that when you're in the corner there, sat on your stool after 9 rounds of a really hard fight and it's in the balance, that they know what to say to you.
Yeah, and you know you can trust your coach as
and
well.
you know that you trust them. And there's a lot of expertise, a lot of knowledge in the US. I mean, there is here as well, but I think the gyms are different, like you said, and you probably get a higher quality of sparring, because Kamakov was just like, he boxed AIBA pro boxing and qualified to the Olympics like that. So like 6 rounds, 8 rounds. So when he turned pro, he'd already been a pro basically. And you run into people like that, and that's kind of invaluable, because fresh meat is the phrase. I remember Andy Lee telling me about his first day in the Kronk and K9 Cornelius Bundridge. When he came through the door and they saw him, they literally screamed fresh meat. That was it, because
Did they scream that at you?
No, I haven't been screaming at him.
Okay.
But they want to get you in there and give it to you, because they want to see what you're about. Because you're an imposter at that point, and they treat you like one.
Literally,
until you prove yourself.
What do they treat you like now?
Now as well, I've got more respect there now, and in a few gyms over there, I've got more respect. Don't get me wrong. When you've got a new fellow, when you've got an American come over, obviously they always prioritise them because it is what it is. Yeah. But as long as I beat them up, I'm all right.
Because you've been in there a little bit longer now. Now, like, when a young buck comes in, are you there sort of like, who's this sort of thing? Or
you know what it is? I've always thought I'd never be like that. But what you almost, because because you adapt to your surroundings, you become like them. So when someone walks in the gym, someone new, you think, all right, cool, like, I'll have a bit of that. I'll have a go. But yeah, they're certainly not shy as well. So whoever walks through them doors, you know they can fight regardless of who they are.
Well, look, two guys that can definitely fight are Zhilei Zhang and Joe Joyce. Tell me this, Joe Joyce often says this boxing is a game of snakes and ladders, right? It feels like all of the snakes that Joe Joyce could go down are very, very long. 37 years old. He's worked so hard to get to this position now. Where does Joe Joyce go if he loses this fight? The stakes are high, right?
Yeah, I mean, the stakes are really high because he's mandatory with the WBO, but obviously the WBA and then the IBF come ahead of the WBO unless something unexpected happens, which you can never rule out in this business. So you want to just keep yourself well positioned. But a bit like Dillian Whyte did 2-3 years ago, he doesn't just want to tick over and wait for his chance, because you could be waiting for a really long time. And how do you motivate yourself for fights where you don't have that little knot of fear in your stomach? You could lose.
Yep.
You know, you can just take your eye off the ball and lose anyway. So I think it's the right thing to do, just to keep yourself on that edge where you need to be. But it's always a risk. I was talking to Mikaela Mayer yesterday, and she was talking about the defeat to Baumgartner and how in one way it's easy to get over because she felt that she won and she felt that it was a career best performance and that she's now better than she's ever been. But her career's gone backwards because of it. So you have got to be, you've got to be careful, and that's why matchmaking and managing a fighter is such a, it's an art. It takes a lot of experience. But Queensberry have been doing this with heavyweights particularly for a really long time.
Yeah.
And they make very, very few mistakes. Put it that
absolutely.
way. And that's not just because I'm on a Queensberry stream. That's a fact, isn't it? That's a fact.
It is correct. Thank you, Andy. I think I can sense, we're talking about heavyweights, I can sense that there's a massive one sort of behind me.
Yeah, I can see him, yeah. I need to sidle out of the way.
I think we're going to see a mic swap between Andy Clark. Thank you so much for joining us, Andy.
I'll happily give up the mic for this man.
Big D in the house, David Adeleye.
How are you?
What's going on, Big
How are we?
Again, brother. You right, yeah?
All good, man.
All right.
Good, man. How are you?
Good to see you.
I'm trying.
Give us your sort of opening thoughts on what you're wearing, because I love it.
Right now,
Go
we're in the
on,
plain
talk us
tee.
I got them Air Forces.
You've got to get the custom made
Yeah,
Air
yeah.
Forces. And I've got the Honour the Gift trousers, HTG. You know
see
what they
it.
are?
You see, I don't know. I probably wouldn't wear it, but
I had to get the salmon pink. Can't nobody pull this off apart from me. You know what I mean?
Big D, good to see you.
Good to
Talk
see
to us
you.
about this fight. Joe Joyce, Zhilei Zhang. What do you think of it?
Good fight for the public. Now, this is the thing. It's one of them fights where nobody really wants to take it because, I mean, that's why you got to give Joyce his credit, because he takes the fights that a lot of people don't want to take. He doesn't need to fight Zhang. There's so many routes he could have went down, but he kind of deserves it. Joyce is always he's always up for like, what's the word I'm looking for? Questioning himself. Seen the fact he truly is under the bright lights. So yeah, I think the public's in for a good one this time.
It feels like both of you just sort of see the real fighter in him. There's a dog in him, right?
Yeah.
That's
you
no
both
doubt.
see it.
There's a dog in Joe Joyce. Joe Joyce has got the dog that the fighters at Faber Wooding that don't have. You know what I mean? So,
Well, look, let's talk about that, because I thought, and I'll be honest, I thought you were going to get mandated to fight Fabio Wardley
that too.
for the British title. That didn't happen. Talk to me.
it didn't happen, the board made the decision. I can't really go and do or say nothing. It is what it is. It's not the end of the world. Do you know what I mean? There's so many other routes I can go down. Mate, there's things that go on in life that are worse than what's going on. You know what I mean? So I ain't tripping. But of course, it's a bit annoying at the time. You're looking at it and you'll see certain things. And everyone talks about Adeleye as an easy fight. It really don't make no sense. If I was an easy fight, and I'm not trying to sound cocky here, why would you not just take it? If I was an easy fight, I genuinely think Fabio Woodley was like easy money. So it's like, I'm getting paid all that money to come and beat up this bum. Why not? You know what I mean? So
Quite simply put.
you know what I mean? Like, if someone's really easy now to go and fight, why would you not just say, you know what, let me just fight him, shut him up. He's got a big mouth, he walks, you know what I mean? He talks a certain way, let me just shut him up, but he's not built like that.
Well, look, you pulled up on him, so to speak. It was a kind of pull up, but then it ended with a handshake. And
He doesn't understand. I pulled up on him, yeah, and I don't want to go into it, but they were begging me behind closed doors, Adeleye, please don't start no problems. So then it was like, you know what, I'm going to be cool. Do you know what I mean? But if I went in there, like, come on, man. Fab wouldn't have been fighting on that Saturday. Put it that way.
Hamza, thoughts?
Listen, it's boxing, isn't it? It's boxing at the end of the day. Like I always say, it's more of a business than it is an actual sport.
That's exactly
nowadays.
it.
Yeah.
No disrespect. You got YouTubers getting paid more than boxers.
100, yeah.
Like, more people watch, I heard, even on the Zone, more people watch Misfits than they do watch Eddie Hearn shows.
Mad. But I tell you what, one ethos I live by is hard work can't be denied. Do you know what I mean? It won't be denied. So keep working hard. Before you know it, 2-3 years of time, he'll be like challenging for a world title. And these people who didn't want to fight him at the time, where would they be? You don't know. Do you know what I mean? So just keep working hard, innit?
That's it, man. I got to keep working hard. And, you know, look, man, we don't fight for the people, we fight for ourselves. But the people's, you know, help us along the way. So I kind of got to focus on myself and just do what I do.
Well, you're always doing what you do, and the last thing we saw you do in the ring was knock someone out pretty
Watch
clean.
what I start doing to my opponents from now on.
What have you got? Are you like more angry now? Because
I'm telling you, parking them up. And then you see, we use a saying is park them up. When the car's in park, it don't move. It's switched off. Done. Park these fighters up. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm gonna start doing, parking them up. There's gonna be a car park full of just different people.
I'm getting quite scared to be honest. I know obviously you're not going to try and fight me or Hamza, I should hope. But yeah, I mean, this is fighting talk. How do you reflect on your last performance? It was a hell of a left hook. It went a little bit viral because I mean, you really landed really hard. How do you look back on that one?
Yeah, it was good. You know, just about like I say. I mean, I say it time and time again. What I do behind closed doors in sparring, I got to start doing on the big stage. I mean, Hamza will tell you straight up, he's more experienced than me in the pros. It's one thing doing it behind the gym, it's one thing doing it in the amateurs, another thing doing it in the pros.
Doing it on the day, yeah.
Do it on the night.
On the night,
And,
yeah. That's what they say over in the gym in Tengus. They go, you got all the people who can do it in the gym, but it's the game players. They call them the game players. Yeah. So when the actions come, or if everything comes, you perform.
So that's what it's about.
I've seen you say a few times, David, about how you're not one of these internet guys, right? And you know, there's been a few like cartoons being shared, and Wardley and Clark going back and forth. You're not into that stuff, are you?
No, I'm not into it because it's just the internet always wins. I'm not into the internet stuff. You know, them people they're always gonna have something to say. So you let the internet do the internet, and you let the people in real life do what they do in real life. So what can I do? What can I say?
Look, let me pick both your brains on something which is going on at the moment in terms of Daniel Dubois.
Yep.
Is the mandatory for Alexander Usyk.
Yep.
That fight has been ordered.
Yep.
Every time you look across social media, people are saying he's not ready. He shouldn't be taking that fight. There's no way he should take it. Why should he take it, or why shouldn't he take it? What do you guys think? Have the chat.
Why not take it? People are saying he shouldn't take it, he's not ready and he's not this and he's not that. We live in a world nowadays where people worry about people's records than anything else. The guys that I looked up to, the George Foremans, Larry Holmes, Ernie Shavers, Ali, Roy Jones, these guys will fight in the best when they're in their best, and sometimes they'll come up short. Make records are for DJs. Go out there, perform and enjoy the show. The game's not long, you just got to go and enjoy it whilst you can. And that's just the main thing.
Listen, you got to look at it this way. Listen, he goes in there, Dubois with Usyk. He goes in there, gives a good account of himself. Whether he's got the power to knock him out. He has. Whether he wins or whether he loses, it doesn't really matter. To be fair, like once you're at that level as a heavyweight, you're always going to be mixing it. Like look, for example, look at Chisora, for example. Perfect example. I'm not saying he'd go down that route, but nine times out of 10 he's losing his fights, but he's still up there. He's still competitively giving these guys a good run for his money. So I don't think there's no reason why he shouldn't take it.
Yeah.
And I think he's got a lot more of a chance than people think he has.
That's true. Heavyweight game. And if you hit hard, you've always got a chance in there. And Dubois hits hard, so he's definitely got a chance in there. Why not have it? Why not take the opportunity anyways? What are you going to do? Sit back and say, no, let somebody else take the opportunity instead? It's been provided to you. You join the game for these sort of fights. You can't shy away from it now.
How hard does he hit? You've done plenty of rounds with Daniel Dubois as well, and how much of a chance do you give him against Alexander Usyk?
I suppose every heavyweight hits hard though.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I've never ever gone in there and then fought anything. So, I mean, but I haven't really fought that with any, no disrespect to any heavyweight, but every heavyweight has some sort of dig on them. I think when you get to a certain weight, everyone's going to have a dig. So yeah, I mean, I rate Usyk highly, but Dubois seems to get the job done, and Dubois does perform on the night. So one thing I can give to Dubois is he does perform on the night. If he sticks to his game plan and sticks to what he knows, I'm sure he can actually get the job done.
Well, look, we we spoke to Andy Clark earlier. We got his sort of top 5 heavyweights. We got Hamza Shiraz's top 5 heavyweights. Yep. Are yours just Adeleye, or have you got a top 5 heavyweights? Go on.
My top 5, it is Adeleye. But I've got to do the other 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put Joyce, Tyson Fury.
Joyce, number 1 heavyweight in the world.
Oh, you want me
in order.
Tyson Fury. I'll give Joyce, Anthony Joshua. Number 4, I'd give to.
What about Usyk?
No, I think Joyce and. Yeah, I do. I'll give Usyk number 4. I'll give number 5 to Hrgovic.
Okay.
Who did you guys say?
Well, look, I've got to actually throw to Thomas Triber, so I'm gonna swerve this one for now. We're gonna carry on the weigh-in here. The weigh-in's about to start properly. We probably need that stage reinforced, by the way, because Zhilei Zhang is a monster. Joyce is a monster as well, and we're gonna throw over to the beginning of the weigh-in to Thomas Triber. Well, I don't actually think we will throw to Thomas Triber just yet. So what we will do is I will give you my top 5 and you can rip it apart.
Thank you.
So for me, I've got Tyson Fury. I've got David Adeleye as number 1, and then number 2, I've got.
That's all right.
I've got
I had a
Tyson
big
Fury number 2, and now we can indeed throw to Thomas Triber.
There you go. Happy days.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to the official weigh-in as we get set for a great night of World Championship Boxing to be held tomorrow at the Copper Box Arena in London. It is all being brought to you by Frank Warren on behalf of Queensberry, along with their great sponsors, 32 Red, Foot Asylum, and Unibet. This great event will be televised live beginning at 7 p.m. London time on BT Sport, and also in the United States on ESPN+. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you have not yet purchased tickets, you can do so by going to ticketmaster.co.uk. Well, we are going to begin the weigh-in process this afternoon with a title bout. It is scheduled for 12 rounds, and it will be for the WBC International Silver and Commonwealth Lightweight Championships. We will first welcome to the scale, he is the challenger. He comes to us from Chennai, India. He brings an undefeated record with 10 wins. 2 of his 10 wins come by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Karthik Satish Kumar.
Well, it's fight number 11 for the WBC Asian champion. Lauded in India when he won this title. He's taking on Sam Noakes on Saturday night. He's 10-0. He's got 4 knockouts himself. He hasn't got the 10 that Sam Noakes has got, but he insists he is bringing a war.
Good step up for Sam Noakes.
I'll be honest with you, I don't know much about him.
Well,
so
9 stone, 8 pounds
seems to be a little bit of a banger
for Karthik Satish Kumar.
well, yeah, Sam Noakes is the guy with the 100% knockout rate, and this guy sounds like he's coming to fight.
And now we welcome to the scale the defending champion from Maidstone, Kent, England. He is undefeated with 10 wins, all 10 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the reigning and defending WBC International Silver and Commonwealth Lightweight Champion, Sam Midge Noakes.
Well, great ovation here for Sam Noakes, fight number 11, defence of his Commonwealth and WBC International Silver Lightweight Championship. He's knocked out everyone so far.
9 stone, 8 pounds, 8 ounces for Sam Noakes.
Always in
boy's
terrific
ripped.
shape. He is ripped. He's ready to go.
I tell
hasn't
you
he?
what, Sam's one of my favourite UK fighters. You know, the way he goes about his business, I like it, and the way he's getting rid of everyone.
He's very watchable, isn't he?
He is, and he's a likeable guy as well.
Yeah. Well, let's look at this face-off.
He is a nice guy. This is a good little test for him, along his journey.
Well, I asked him at Grand Arrivals the other night, why should fans tune in to see you on Saturday? And he said, because it will be all right, I suppose.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, these two competing tomorrow night live on BT Sport in a 12-round contest for for the WBC International Silver and Commonwealth Lightweight Championships.
At the face-off yesterday at the press conference, there was a little bit of fire from Karthik. There were a few verbals exchanged. I'm not sure what was said, but I don't think Sam Noakes has had someone look at him at a weigh-in like Karthik has. Like, look at him this week like Karthik has.
Probably fancies him.
Taking it in.
Well, who can blame him if that is the case? I've described Sam Noakes as the boy next door who could fill you in. He's got that sort of energy about him.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure we're going to grab a word with Sam Noakes, but the weigh-in is going to continue here at Spitalfields in London.
That's the hardest time to speak, after a weigh-in.
Yeah,
I don't know, not for you maybe, but yeah.
For me, it's alright.
I know, for me, I'm just like, yo, let me eat. I remember last time Dev grabbed me from after my thing. I got there and I was like, I didn't know what to say. I looked at Dev, I was like, yeah, I'm good, man. Yeah, safe, let's go.
I think I gave you the most dead questions as well. It was just like, so how you feeling?
Yeah, literally.
Worst question to ask a fighter on fight week, let alone the day before, is how you feeling?
Oh, are you ready? Are you ready?
Are you ready? That's the worst question to ask.
I mean, yeah, so well, in that case, look, we've just had a little conversation there about potentially dead questions that you ask fighters after they've weighed in. And, the generic one is, how you feeling? Are you ready? Well, I actually want you guys to ask the questions this time. What would you like to be asked? So say we get Joe Joyce in. He's just like, actually no, because he didn't have to make weight.
Yeah.
Say we get Denzel Bentley.
Ladies and gentlemen, we continue the weigh-in process. Our next two combatants to the scale competing tomorrow night.
I'll probably just wish him luck.
12-round contest.
Get some food in you.
It will be for the British Middleweight Championship. First to the scale, the challenger, coming to us from Scotland. His professional record, 18 wins, just 1 defeat. 7 of his wins coming by way of knockout. Let's welcome Kieran Chopper Smith.
Well, here comes Kieran Chopper Smith, moving up from super welterweight to middleweight. He says that it is his time. The only loss that he suffered in his career was down at super welterweight to Troy Williamson, but now he is gunning for that British middleweight championship. Looks in shape, Hamza?
Yeah, pretty good nick, man. But I think he's one of them guys who's always in shape, always training and whatnot, from what I know.
11 stone, 5 pounds, 12 ounces for Kieran Smith.
Yeah, he's definitely in shape. He does look good as well. I mean, the fact that he's actually stepping.
And now we welcome to the scale the defending champion from Battersea, London, England. He has a professional record consisting of 17 wins, 2 defeats, 1 draw. 4 of his wins come by way of knockout. Let's welcome the reigning and defending British middleweight champion, Denzel "Too Sharp" Bentley.
Well, it's fight number 21 for the 2-time British middleweight champion, Denzel Bentley, defending against
11 stone, 5 pounds, 12 ounces for Denzel Bentley.
Be a good fight, man. Looking forward to it.
Always in shape, always on the money. Let's see what we see from the face-off. Hamza, obviously you're looking at Denzel. Is this a bit of a scouting mission for you?
I said it would be if I didn't know, if I wasn't around him all the time throughout my career, fighting on the same cards and whatnot, and even sharing the ring with him in sparring. But not really. It's just here to see how it goes. 160. Let's see, innit? For the British, whether we fight next or whenever. It's alright. I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, look. It's a great fight.
As long as there's no animosity, it doesn't seem like there's any animosity there.
Well, what between Hamza and Denzel? Yeah. Can we create some?
I don't think there would be though. You naturally got to have that, innit?
Yeah,
you can't force it.
You can't force it.
You know what I mean? If you don't like someone,
it's there or it's not.
Yeah.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, these two competing tomorrow night live on BT Sport in a scheduled 12-round contest. It will be for the British Middleweight Championship.
Smith's slightly taller.
Yeah.
But I suppose it doesn't really matter when it comes to actual height.
It's serious business when you got the black Air Forces on, bro.
That's exactly
I'm hoping the camera pans and we can see them. But I mean, both guys look serious from what we can see here. And we're going to hope to grab Denzel Bentley for a brief chat where I'll probably just get Hamza to ask him a couple of questions.
Don't know what I'm going to ask him, but
that could be good.
Well, how are you feeling? You ready?
Yeah.
Innit? What was it to ask?
The same dead questions.
What are you going to eat?
You want to go for some food, bro? Big D, who wins out of Denzel Bentley and Hamza Shiraz? What are you saying?
Good fight. I think they both got different.
Put him on the
attributes.
spot.
Put him right on the spot.
They both got different attributes, so it's a very good fight. I think it's one of the British fans are going to be in for a good time.
Navigated that pretty well.
Who do you think wins?
I don't know, mate. Couldn't tell you.
He's asking for a question now. Do you know what I mean?
Denzel, 2-shot. Bentley, please come in. Come in. How are we? Zip up the hoodie. Right, and
What's going on?
we've been talking, right? We've been saying things like after weigh-ins, people always ask the most dead questions, right? Like, how you feeling? How you feeling? So I'm actually going to ask Hamza to ask you a question.
To be fair, Brew, I don't have a question to ask you. All I'm saying is just good luck for tomorrow and go about your business.
No, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
What do you think of this fight, Hamza?
No, like I said, it's a good fight. It's a great fight. Like I said, I don't think it'll be much of a challenge for Denzel, to be fair. But Kieran Smith has got nothing to lose, and you can't overlook anyone in this sport.
What did you make of the face-off? What did you see in that man's eyes? You know, he says it's his time. He says he's coming to win this week. What did you make of it all?
I don't make nothing of it. All that stuff don't mean nothing. That's just talk. You know, you got to big yourself up and you got to be confident in yourself anyway. But Hamza said it's not going to be a challenge. There's always a challenge. There's always a challenge. This guy's hungry. He said he's been working his whole life for this. So that's the challenge in itself. So I got to make sure that he don't achieve his dream on Saturday night, and that's a challenge in itself.
David Adelaide's looking like he wants to ask a question. I see you.
No, I can see you ready though. I can see you're jittery. I know
Ready,
the
bro.
feeling when you're just ready to let your hands go. So
Ready, that's what
I
it is,
think
bro.
Tomorrow night you just gotta go out there and have some fun, man. And you already know your hands are gonna do the talking.
Definitely.
Final prediction. Tell us what's going to happen tomorrow night.
Denzel Bentley by KO.
Okay, couldn't make it any clearer. Go get some food.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next two combatants to the scale competing tomorrow night in a scheduled 6-round contest, and it is a international heavyweight bout. First to the scale, he comes to us from Kharkiv, Ukraine. He brings a professional record consisting of 9 wins, 12 defeats, 1 draw, 6 of his 9 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome to the scale, Konstantin Dangerous Dovbyshchenko.
Fight 23 for the 31-year-old Ukrainian who is tasked with challenging Moses Itauma to go longer than a minute.
17 stone, 3 pounds for Konstantin Dovbyshchenko.
I suppose this is another one.
Next to the scale from Chatham, Kent, England. He had a stellar amateur career, now undefeated as a professional with 2 wins. Both of those wins coming by way of knockout. Let's welcome to the scale, Moses Itauma.
Terrific ovation here for Moses Itauma. Fight number 3, unbeaten as an amateur. You don't see that very often. 18 years old, could be the future of the heavyweight division.
17 stone, 9 pounds for Moses Itauma.
He seems to be dealing with it well.
Have you done anything with Moses yet? Have you done any sparring, Dave?
No, not yet. It's a small circuit, so I'm assuming he's definitely going to get some work in soon, so it'll be good.
He's southpaw, isn't it? Incorrect.
He's a southpaw, shows tremendous movement, and the guy that he's fighting, Dovbyshchenko, comes with he's got a losing record, but there are names on there. He's never
Once
been
again,
stopped.
ladies and gentlemen, these two competing tomorrow night live on BT Sport in a 6-round international heavyweight contest.
If Moses Itauma can indeed get him out of there, and this is the first time someone's bringing a real fire to Moses at a weigh-in, looking right in the eye.
Has he been stopped before?
Never been stopped.
Never been
before.
stopped, no?
And Moses Itauma's fights collectively have not gone longer than a minute. So we are guaranteed some sort of entertainment tomorrow night.
That's a good step up. Even if it's small, at least it's a step up. It brings something different to the table.
Well, there he is, Moses Itauma.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we are going to weigh in our main event participants. They will be competing in a scheduled 12-round contest, and it will be for the WBO Interim Heavyweight Championship of the world. We will first welcome to the scale, he is the challenger. He comes to us from Shenzhou, China, and now making his home in Bloomfield, New Jersey. He brings a professional record consisting of 24 wins, just 1 defeat, 1 draw. 19 of his 24 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Zhilei Big Bang Zhang.
Good contender, Zhang. I heard some things about him. Yeah, very good contender. He's at the end of his career, but he still seems to be dangerous with him.
He's got that big bang, that's the thing.
Exactly
that southpaw backhand. Let's see how he looks on the...
Definitely a unit, isn't he?
He's a unit, Hamza.
19 stone, 12 pounds for Zhilei Zhang.
19-12 for Zhilei Zhang, and you can tell he's an absolute unit.
Now we welcome to the scale the defending champion from Putney, London, England. He had a stellar amateur career, and now as a professional, undefeated with 15 wins. 14 of his 15 wins come by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the reigning and defending WBO interim heavyweight champion of the world, Joe the Juggernaut Joyce.
Wow, an absolutely tremendous ovation for Joe Joyce. Fight number 16 for the Juggernaut. I can see some abs poking through there as well. He looks lean, he looks ready to go. Probably broke the scales, didn't he?
It's funny because Joe doesn't look physically big, but he weighs a lot. You look at his actual torso and...
It's the
Have
density,
you ever spotted him?
Yeah, it's like, real good luck.
Good shape, man.
18 stone, 4 pounds.
18 stone, 4
for
pounds.
Joe Joyce.
That's around the same sort of weight that Joe Joyce came in against Daniel Dubois. It's much lighter than what he came in against Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker is 19 stone 3, so he's done a bit of weight here. He was his career heavy last time. Very interesting.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this our main event tomorrow night, live on BT Sport, scheduled for 12 rounds, and it will be for the WBO Interim Heavyweight Championship of the World.
So that's his character. He really is.
That's what I was saying. The coaches are posing for the photos as well.
But look at this though, you can see in the
They're gonna face off as well.
It's been a friendly build-up, but there'll be nothing friendly in that stare.
I think this is going to be one of Joyce's first fights where his opponent comes in heavier than him, right?
Yeah.
So this is interesting because you know Joyce likes to walk people down and whatnot. So it'll be interesting. But at the same time, we can see Joyce can box. We saw it against Dubois. So what Joyce is going to come in tomorrow, we don't know.
I think there was sort of a half attempt at a handshake there from Big Bang. Joe Joyce didn't quite see it. Almost a kind of awkward exchange there.
Yeah.
But
always awkward
we're used to
One of them
those.
semi ones, isn't it?
We're used to that with Joe Joyce.
They are the ones we're used to when it comes to Big Juggernaut. But interesting there on the weight. So he has come in, I think it was around 18 stone 3, 18 stone 4 against Joseph Parker. He was at his career heaviest. So what does that tell us? Big D, I mean, you'll have something to say about that. He's come in almost like a stone lighter than what he did in his last fight. What does that tell us?
I think we're going to expect Joyce to move. He knows Zhang likes to plod his feet and whatnot, so it'll be interesting. We know Joyce can box. We saw it against Dubois, and we know he can walk opponents down. So.
Oh my
We'll see.
goodness
There he
me!
is, size of
Look
the
at
fella.
this. Well, Big Jugger, let's get you in the middle here. Big Juggernaut, you were around a stone lighter than what you were against Joe Parker. What's the plan here?
It's I had an early camp in Vegas, like a pre-camp, and I've been like very disciplined with my diet and stuff, and plenty of good training with Larry Wade over there and Salas. So I've had a long camp, and it's been good, and I'm back to. I don't know. I'm feeling really fit and good, and my abs are popping through. So I'm ready to fight now.
Have you? David Adeleye was saying there. You are you're boxing someone who's heavier than you. Like he's like a stone heavier than you. That it's not often we see someone see the juggernauting people that are heavier than him. How does that affect everything?
Well, I don't know. Be more agile or mobile, but you know, I'll still be coming with the power and the endurance and punch output and toughness.
Anything you want to tell Big
I was
Jack?
going to say. So what are we expecting tomorrow? Are you going to walk him down? Are you going to box him? We've seen you walk people down. We've seen you box. So
Yeah.
What are we expecting tomorrow?
I'm not gonna give away too much, but I'm gonna see how it all starts and see where I can land the shots and that, and obviously watch what's coming back because there's some big power shots that he's coming with Chinese power. He says so. Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch out.
And was it difficult finding southpaw sparring over in America, especially the same size as Zhang?
Yeah, it was difficult. I had to fly a few in, and there was some in Vegas and stuff that I sparred with, like Bruce on a so old fighters, Cuban southpaw. There's Charles Martin. There's Zach Spiller. Who else?
You had Moses last week as well, didn't you?
Yeah, Moses Itauma. Yeah, it was good camp, man. Good sparring. I don't think I'm forgetting anyone, but yeah.
I want to ask you a question. When you're all coming from America and you're coming to fight now, do you fly in a week before, 2 weeks before?
Yeah, 2 weeks before.
You've got to take
Get used to get over the jet lag and stuff, man.
Yeah, definitely. Because a lot of fighters come in a week before and.
Also Jack from a guy we call Jack from Uzbekistan. So I'm still thinking.
No, but it's safe to say you had the rounds in though. It's good.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're going to be performing. And are you looking at the top heavyweights right now?
Yeah, I'm looking at. Well, I'm looking at my man over there first. But there's plenty of good fights to make after that. But I need to get through him, and then before I can start, calling people out. Yeah, man. But they know I'm here and I'm ready. So.
Yeah. We can see that. We can see you're ready. Look, tell me this: the build-up. At times it's been hilarious. At times it's been quite friendly. Has it been too friendly, Joe?
Well, I'm a friendly guy until the bell rings. Anyway.
When does Juggernaut mode switch on? Has it already happened?
It's getting there. Yeah, it's getting close to the fight. Only one more sleep till fight night. So yeah, I'll be getting. I'm mentally prepared already. Physically, I'm there. So yeah, it's just I need to. A few more hours, and I'm ready for action.
We're going to switch you with Zhang now, but before we do, I want you to just tell them why they should watch you on Saturday night.
Because I'm the Juggernaut and I deliver the great fights, exciting fights. So come down, watch me beat up Zhilei Zhang.
There you go. Well said, Joe, and best of luck
Have a
to
good
you.
one, man. Good luck. Yeah.
We're going to speak now to the Big Bang, who's going to come in with.
Dave, you got to do the translation, yeah.
Yeah, you get to translate. Big Bang, please. You are some unit. Yeah, you okay? All right. Well, look, we saw the face-off, right? We saw the face-off. It looked very, very serious, and everything's been very friendly this week. Has he now switched into fight mode?
这一个周都非常的放松，但是刚才呢，你感觉特别的有杀气。
Yeah.
为什么突然变化了？
因为明天战争就要到了，然后所以说，然后开始一下这个气氛一下就起来了，然后开始上场厮杀。
Because we're 1 day away. I'm feeling the firework. I'm feeling the blood. Tomorrow, that's the day.
Well, tell me this. He is around a stone lighter, Joe Joyce. It's not often that Joe Joyce boxes someone who's heavier than him. What effect does that have on the fight?
Joyce 比你轻了一点，一般来说他对手都比他轻一点。但是这种你什么感觉？现在？
我感觉可能他故意降重了吧，然后他想给我打他的灵活，然后估计他会用他的降重之后身体会更灵活一点嘛。
Maybe he did it on purpose. Maybe he want to stay on his toe for the whole fight. That's his strategy. Maybe.
And the game plan tomorrow, what is it? I know, of course, is to win, but exactly what fashion?
明天肯定是想赢的，但是具体有什么样的办法去赢呢？有没有透露一下？
明天我们赛场上见。现在一切都准备好了，然后锁定频道，然后1秒钟都不要离开。
I don't want to reveal too much, but all I can say is I'm damn ready. So see him in the ring. Don't blink. Don't stay away from the TV. 1 second, fight will be over.
Oh, so
I think I want him to speak for me in my next fight.
Well, look, we talked a lot about what could happen when this fist lands on Joe Joyce. Now I want you to think about it. And what do you think will happen when the fist lands on Joe Joyce?
以前都说挨了一拳，他挨你一拳什么反应？现在说说，如果是这一拳挨到他下巴上，他什么反应？
The size of my face, that size of my head.
应该看他什么反应，我也想看看他明天到底什么反应。
I really want to see what his reaction will be.
这是个铁榔头。
This is an iron hammer right there.
I think he believes in it as well, because I mean, you can see the belief when he's talking. I think the public is going to be in for a good fight tomorrow night, most definitely. Joyce brings it, Zhang brings it. You know, it's going to be a big fight. They're both going to be in the centre of the ring, letting their hands go.
We can't wait for it. Give us your final message, please, in English if you like, as to why people should tune in on Saturday to watch the Big Bang against the Juggernaut. Let them know.
可以用英语说最好了啊，说一句粉丝想看到什么，或者我跟粉丝有什么说的，或者跟他说一句都可以。
See, change the power again.
Nice.
No translation needed. Thank you so much, Zhilei Zhang. Thank you, Kurt, as well.
Have a good one, man.
Fantastic. Look at the size of him. Goodness me, thank you. The Big Bang. We've had a chat with him. I mean, the guy's a monster, right? You're a heavyweight. He was bigger than you, right?
Yeah. Both. I mean, what is he? He's about 6'6".
6'6". It's not often you see Joe
They're both
Joyce
about the same size.
and Zhilei Zhang. It's not often you see them have to look someone directly in the eye. They're both absolute lumps.
They're both big boys. And it's interesting to see. And like I said, the thing is with Joyce, when you look at his torso, he doesn't have a big torso. He's not the type that has a big chest. He doesn't have big arms.
He's more athletic than I thought he was, to be
He's
fair.
Joyce is actually a heavyweight. You look at his bum and his legs, no homo. He's a big guy. Do you know what I mean? So he's a solid heavyweight. He's a solid heavyweight. So you can tell this is the sort of way he kind of walks around. Like he said, he'd been in camp earlier than usual. So he was really getting the work in with his team. And Joe Joyce has got an engine on him.
Look, he's got that engine. Let me ask you this though, right? We're talking about how he's lost this weight. Okay, so he's about a stone lighter than what he was against Joseph Parker. He took flush right hands from Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker's best shots. Now, if he's got a stone less on him, does that mean he could get hurt finally by somebody in one of these fights if he's walking around at this weight instead of the old weight?
I don't really know about all of that, I'll be honest, because I see people saying them sort of things, and for me personally, I don't know if a fight would really see the difference. When there's a stone and you weigh that much, I don't know if there's a difference. I think if you're 11 stone and you're fighting at 10 stone, there might be a difference.
Yeah.
But when you're 19 stone and you're fighting at 18 stone, I don't think it's going to be a difference. And Joyce is in Joyce's actual DNA to take them sort of shots. So it's got nothing to do with weight and whatnot. You know, some people have that built in and other people just don't. Joyce has a built in, so, you know he can take a shot. So I don't think that stone will really make that much
I think
difference.
if anything, it's more of a benefit for him, especially fighting someone the size of Zhang as well. So it all depends on what his game plan is, isn't it, at the end of the day? So I think going by his weight, I think common sense would suggest that he's going to try box a bit.
Do you think we're going to see a faster Joe Joyce? A lot of people say that he's slow. People have called him slow Joyce over the years and things like that.
Joyce isn't the fastest heavyweight, but he's got good timing. You see how Joyce lets his hands go and he doesn't really show his shots. There's times when Joyce kind of sets his right hand up with a jab, and then he whips one over the top. And you see that he gets it done. And then that's clear to see. And it's good. It's clear to see because
everyone loves Big T.
Wait.
You know, was that Wardley?
But it's clear to see because he always lands it. He lands the overhand rights on the top. If he was slow, he definitely wouldn't be landing them sort of shots. So I mean, look, there's something that people know behind closed doors that the public don't know. And that's why Joyce is so avoided.
Yeah.
But he's paved his way. He's kicked the doors down. Nothing was given to him, so he can't be denied.
Goes back to what we were saying, isn't it?
Yeah,
about
exactly. As long as you work,
yeah.
People are always gonna have something to say. And like I say, man, we live in a world where everyone has access to an opinion now. So the people that are always ridiculing and they like calling Joe Joyce slow and whatnot, he seems to always get the job done.
Yeah.
He was the underdog going into the Dubois fight.
Yeah.
He wasn't flustered whatsoever. He didn't care what the public had to say. You know, him and his team believed in him. They had that confidence in him, and I mean, his career's just been progressing ever since. So he's climbing up the ladder and he's building.
Is he becoming the boogeyman of the heavyweight division? You said there, like, he's going to be avoided. I mean, I can't imagine there's a huge queue of people who just like, yeah, all right, I'll fight Joe Joyce, unless there's, you know, he's the interim champion now. Maybe when he's world champion, it will be different. People would want to fight him. But right now, like, he's a bit of a
right
boogeyman.
now,
What do you
probably,
think?
I think they do the risk to reward sort of process, and they probably just think.
Especially all the champs now, he's a hard night's work. You know,
Ladies and gentlemen, we continue with the weigh-in process. With two combatants competing tomorrow in a scheduled 6-round international welterweight contest. First, we will welcome to the scale. He comes to us from Sofia, Bulgaria. He has 15 professional bouts to his credit. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Georgi Babyface Velichkov.
Well, here is the man they call the babyface, 22 years old, from Hungary.
That's not a baby face. You look older than
10
22
stone,
to
2 pounds for Georgi Velichkov. Now to the scale, his opponent tomorrow night from Northampton. Undefeated with 10 victories. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Ethan Jammy James.
Fight number 11 for Ethan Jammy James,
10
Northampton.
stone, 6 pounds.
Super lightweight.
He's a
Ethan James.
very well schooled fighter.
Have you done anything with him?
No, I was in England camps with him.
Yes.
So you can tell that he's a very, like I said, well schooled. He does everything correct. But it's just all about how he makes that transition into the pros, but over a longer duration.
Yeah.
Well, he's 10-0 now as a professional. His last fight was probably his hardest fight.
Yeah, I watched that actually.
Yes.
I was out in the US. I watched that. Yeah.
He got knocked down in the first round, but overcame it. Showed a bit of maturity.
I think that'll do him a world of good, though. I reckon tomorrow it'll be a much more developed than he was in his last fight. But let's see tomorrow.
This our first live fight tomorrow night on BT Sport, scheduled for 6 rounds, and it is an international welterweight bout.
He's young as well. You know, he's only 22. He's still got some going to do. His manship's still going to come in. You know,
Well, he achieved a lot as a youth professional. He was a Commonwealth Youth gold medalist, was Ethan James, in a fantastic weight division here in the UK, 140 pounds. So many fantastic fighters, and he is looking to make his way through. 10-0 now. This is fight number 11 for Ethan James. The Northampton super lightweight.
Northampton's getting quite a few
They've
good
got
fighters from
Kieran
there, aren't
Conway.
they? Yeah, Kieran Conway.
Do you want a bit of Kieran Conway as well?
I'd love
yeah?
I think they got Ezra Cannon.
Yep.
Yeah, Nottingham.
Ezra
He's
Taylor.
Nottingham. Yeah, I know what you're saying. He's Nottingham.
Our next two combatants to the scale.
I tried for you, Ezra, man. My bad. I tried.
Cruiserweight contest. First to the scale from Manchester. He has 111 professional bouts. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Daryl Sharp.
Tough man.
111 professional bouts.
You sound like you're getting a headache just hearing that.
He's had more fights than people have had hot
13
dinners.
stone, 2 pounds for Daryl Sharp.
This is just another day in the
Now
office.
to the scale from London. Undefeated with 1 win. That 1 win comes by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, also by way of Ghana, here is Freezy Macbones.
Freezy looks like the cruiserweight version of me.
12 stone, 12
He's a character,
pounds.
Freezy. He likes to swing. He likes to fight. You know, he draws in a bit of a crowd.
It'll be interesting to see if he stops Daryl Sharp.
Yeah, I mean,
I think this is a good match because Freezy likes to swing and let his hands go. And of course, I really don't know much about Daryl Sharp, but
He don't really
the
get
fact that he's
stopped.
got 111
Yeah,
bouts,
he
he
don't
knows
get
his way around the ring as well.
We got Tommy Fletcher, who's at cruiserweight, who's a big puncher. He took Tommy Fletcher the distance.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, these two competing tomorrow night in a scheduled 4-round cruiserweight contest.
Looks angry, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He's pissed.
Freezy is ready to go. It's a hell of a story that he's got.
Yes, I heard it. He said he was homeless for 3 weeks. He was working in the kitchen. You know, he's had a hard graft, so I think he's
He fights for a lot more than
exactly
what you
that.
see. You know what I mean?
I know he's getting to reap the rewards. You know, he's living the dream right now. You can't go wrong.
Yeah, good on him. He's not stopped smiling all week until he's just faced off with.
These are the moments you have to embrace, and you know they always say, and even the likes of like people like me, I'm always looking at the big boys, and I want to be at that level, but I have to remember to enjoy the journey at the level I'm at now.
Yeah.
Because when you do get to that level at the top, you're gonna be like, you know what, I never enjoyed it on the whole come up. You kind of forget. I remember when I was 2-0, 3-0, I was fighting in COVID behind closed doors on 4 unders. I just wanted to fight certain names.
We was on the same show, you remember?
Exactly that.
I think we're going to try and grab a chat with Freezy, but what you're saying there, you're absolutely right. It's about the journey, right? You've got to enjoy the journey.
At a later
it must be incredible for Freezy Macbones from where he's been to where he is now, up on that stage, all these people.
He is competing against Richard Helm from Manchester tomorrow in a scheduled 6-round international super lightweight contest. Let's welcome to the scale from Upminster, undefeated with 5 victories, Sonny Liston Ali.
I'm looking at you guys, you're both smirking, saying, is that his real name? It is his real name, David.
I grew up with Sonny.
Yeah, so it's his real name.
Yeah. We boxed at the same amateur club together, 5-star. We was good mates, man. It was really good mates. Yeah.
What's his surname? Ali.
Go on, Hamza. It's Ali,
yeah,
isn't it?
Sonny Liston. That's his full name, Sonny Liston Ali.
If you guys could see David Adeley's face now,
he's a good fighter, Sonny, man.
He's got some boots to fill. He's got the Elvis Presley look.
He's got a lot of boots to fill. There's a lot of names in there, but he's 5-0 now as a professional. And look, he's got a tough guy in front of him on Saturday night as well. And I think we're gonna bring in Freezy. Freezy Macbones, please.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this does conclude today's weigh-in. We thank you for joining us.
Jump in.
Again, this great event tomorrow night being held at
I'm gonna ask you the classic question of how you're feeling, but for you, it must be so different from where you've come from, the journey that you've been on to be here today. How are you really feeling, Freezy?
I'm excited. I'm very happy, and what I've been praying for, now God has answered my prayers, and I have it now. So the rest is me. Tomorrow evening, tomorrow night, BT Sports, to put in the, to show my my skills, and do what Freezy does best.
Look, David Adeleye, who's behind you, he was saying, he's a fan. He loves your energy. Any word for this man? He was talking about how you should take in every single moment here. Anything you want to tell Big Freezy?
No, he already knows. Just enjoy the show. The stage you're at now, you'll never be at again. And I always say, man, everyone dreams of getting to the big stages, and when we get there, we forget the journey. So you have to enjoy the journey, and just soak it in. When you're doing the 4-6 rounders, it's an achievement in itself. And sometimes we forget to pat ourselves on the back for our small achievements. You turn a professional was an achievement. We want to know now an achievement. Tomorrow you're going to be 2-0. So just enjoy the show. Have fun. You've come from a hard background. Everyone knows you'll come up. So it's about enjoying it.
I appreciate that, brother. Yeah, Thank you so much. We all need the people like him to be around with. You know what I'm saying? So because they've been there before. They know how it feel like. They know how rough and good, sweet, how it's going. So when people like that give you the advice, you need to take it. You know what I'm saying? So just enjoy it. So it's my birthday tomorrow night.
Well, look, tell me this. It may well be your birthday, but the guy you're fighting doesn't get stopped very often. He could come and try and ruin your birthday. What's going to happen in there, Freezy?
Yeah, listen, everyone is different. You know what I'm saying? And if you believe yourself, you believe your skills, you believe your hard work, and what you have put in the gym, listen, you're just going there to have fun,
enjoy yourself.
Enjoy yourself, exactly. So obviously he beat for a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? This guy had a 20 fight in a year, bro. He's a different, and I think he deserves everything he had now because he put in the work. And boxing is not a joke; it's serious business. So a man sacrificed himself, to get in the ring. 20 fights a year, man, it's not easy. Yeah. He look like he fights every week. You know what I'm saying? So for me,
pretty much does.
Exactly. So I need to come out with different attitude, different character. Definitely. Man strong. And I always gonna remember where I'm coming from. That keep me
grounded and
strong and grounded and become a man I am right now. So I'm gonna use all these kind of characters and attitude in the ring tomorrow night.
What I'd like you to do, Freezy, that camera there, that's looking at you. I want you to tell them why everyone should be getting behind Freezy Macbones tomorrow night.
Okay, it's the champion, right? Freezy Macbones in, it's been Freezy. I've been waiting for this opportunity for a long time, right? 3 years, no fight, and now I'm here. Last month I had my first professional debut, and now I get the thing I've been praying for. God has finally answered my prayers in BT. So watch me and support me, and I believe my people in the back home Ghana, most of them are watching me live, half of the country, because they're like, no, our brother is fighting on BT. We all gonna stop what we're doing to support him, you know. So South London, Ghana, London, and the whole world, around the world, keep on and tuning in on BT, you know what I'm saying? So we are here, baby. It's Freezy time, champ. Let's go.
Well, there we go, Freezy. Wonderful speaking to you, and we will see you tomorrow night. Final fist bump there, or handshake. Just a reminder, I know you said BT, he will be live on the Queensberry YouTube channel. He's one of the 3 fights that we've got on the Queensberry YouTube channel tomorrow. From around sort of 5:15, we will be live. Freezy Macbones against Daryl Sharp is one of those fights. Guys, how are we feeling? How are we feeling after this weigh-in today? What do we think of Joyce and Zhang and everything? Tell us.
It's good, you know. It's good to be just involved in the sport. You know, you look at the build-up and the weigh-in. You know, you see people are excited. People want to tune in and see who's going to win. You know, of course, they're all a lot more mellow than a lot of fighters and a lot of weigh-ins. Probably more mellow than I would be all the time. But I think the fighting does the talking with Joyce and with Zhang. It's going to be interesting main event. We know Zhang can bang, and we know Joyce can take a hit, and Joyce has got an engine. Zhang's last fight, he gassed out at the end. What's it going to be like in the last couple of rounds? Joyce might pick it up. Zhang might have worked on his fitness. It's going to be a good fight. You've got Freezy, you've got Denzel Bentley, you've got Moses Itauma, you've got Sonny Liston Ali.
Yeah, and you can't believe that still can't believe it.
Yeah, so it's going to be.
It's a great show, and I can see BT are sniffing around you. They want to grab you on their stream. Of course they do. I think we're probably going to have a little swap over here. So Big D, thank you.
Pleasure.
Can we fist bump, or are you going to leave me?
Do you want me to say something?
Just say something. Go on, whatever you want to say.
Tune into BT Sports, the home of boxing, especially when you got people like me on it.
David, Adeleye, ladies and gentlemen. Hamza, let's shuffle up a little bit. I think we're going to get Raven Chapman in.
Yep.
Hello,
Raven,
hello.
how are we?
I'm good. How are you,
Raven,
Dan?
Hamza, Raven.
Good? Yeah, I'm good. You?
Very well, thank you.
Good.
So you are joining me on co-commentary tomorrow
yeah, I'm excited.
for the 3 undercard fights. Excited?
Yeah, good. Good times. Good for us. A little bit of a new experience, isn't it? I've not commentated before yet, so warm me up into the BT show later on.
Should be good. Look, tell me what did you make of the Joyce Zhang, the face-off, the weights? What's your kind of read of the whole thing?
Yeah, they both look pretty calm. They both look up for it. I think it'll be an interesting fight. It's an exciting one, and you know, Zhang's not been around in the UK scene much, but we know he's a silver medalist at the Olympics, just like Joyce is. He's got a very good chin and he hits hard as well. Yeah. So I think it's got all that combination for a really good fight.
Well, look, tell me this, and this is the question to both of you guys about how kind of friendly it's been. It didn't seem too friendly during the face-off, but like during fight week, they're having a laugh, they're having a joke. There's been stuff lost in translation. There's chat get zanged. There's all of this sort of stuff. Like, do you? I don't know. Does it take something away? Do you need the animosity ahead of Saturday, or can you have a friendly build-up?
Not necessarily. You don't always need it. I think if the natural needle's there, then it's there. And it's a lot more organic. And at the end of the day, when you've got 2 fighters who want to rip each other's heads off, it is fun for the fans. Yeah. But at the same time, when you've got fighters who appreciate one another and they understand what they're doing for the fans and what they're putting on for it, you also appreciate that as well. So, like I said, big we need Joe Joyce in
yes,
UK
we
boxing.
do. Yes,
no,
we do.
100%. I agree. You know, if that animosity isn't there, you can see through it. It's fake.
No need to force it.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, if you're having a laugh, having good times in camp, then that's showing their personalities as well, and that's showing their real selves. And I think that's really important too.
Let me ask you this, right? There's always this talk about how in the build-up to fights, Tyson Fury gets into his opponent's head, you know, Batman costumes and all of this stuff. Up with Dillian Whyte on the stage, he was dancing, etc. He's never lost, and there was a feeling that maybe he took something out of Dillian Whyte before that fight by sort of making friends with him. Is Joe Joyce sort of secretly doing the same sort of thing with his awkward humour?
He could be, but I think that's just Joyce, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think he's just himself, and if that is what happens and it works, then you know he's only being himself and still getting inside the opponent's head and changing things up. So it's only a win-win.
I think if he is doing it, he's doing it without realising.
Yeah.
Would he get into your head?
Who's
that? Say you and Joe Joyce were fighting, obviously not. But like, would you, if you were having a laugh with him in fight week, like, how would you deal with that?
I think it all depends how it comes down to you as a person, right? How you take it, how you perceive things. Really, really and truly no, because I know he's a knockout artist, and I know what the end goal is. Do you know what I mean? He's softening you up, and then when you get in there, he's just going to literally just take lumps out of you. So as long as you understand what you're doing and why you're doing it, it's all right. It's not too bad.
It's not too much. Look, I was speaking to Hamza earlier and David about, you know, kind of landing your best shot on someone and what effect it would have on you. And everyone, maybe apart from Daniel Dubois, has landed their best shot on Joe Joyce, and he just keeps on walking forward. What does that do to you as a fighter?
It definitely make you question yourself. You know, if they've just taken the best thing that you've given and best thing that you've got, and they are still coming forwards, it'll make you have to think. You've got to reevaluate and maybe change things up a little bit. If you know you're not going to get them out of there with one big shot or a combination of big shots, how are you going to adapt? How are you going to change that? And that can be hard for a fight, especially if you haven't prepared for that.
Sometimes I'm watching his fights and I'm exhausted on his opponent's behalf. Joseph Parker looked completely gassed after like 2 or 3 rounds. It must be very difficult having that constant punch volume just coming against you. Have either of you come up against anything like that yet?
I think that's how people find me in the other way. That's me as a fighter, so I've never had it back.
Female juggernaut.
Yeah, that's it.
No, it is. I've had a lot of it in sparring as well. I haven't had it in the fight just yet, but it gets annoying because they don't give you time to think.
Yeah.
And God forbid getting hit by one of Joe's punches. He's throwing however many punches he's throwing, but with the power behind it, you can't think. And at the same time, if you get hit with him, you're getting knocked out.
Give us your final word on this, Raven. Your prediction for the main event. How do you see this going?
I see it late round stoppage for Joyce, round 10.
And I'm going within the first 4 rounds. I'm going Joe Joyce to take him out within the first 4 rounds.
Interesting. So normally the idea has been that he juggernauts them late. You think he'll get him out of there quick?
I think he'll get him out of there quick. I don't know. I just have a feeling. I think based on Zhang's performances, if I was Joe Joyce's coach, I'd say just get him out there early.
I think Zhang might be too tough.
Yeah, he could be. He probably might be, because when it comes to my boxing predictions, they're terrible. You would never think I'm a fighter. But if I was Joe Joyce's coach, I'd just try. It's almost like the element of surprise. You know what I mean? Surprise attack, and just try switch things up. He's got the engine to, if it doesn't work, to go the long distance anyway. So why not?
Just before I let you both go, there's obviously a British middleweight title fight, and you're in and around that picture as well.
Yeah.
Tell me, how much of a close eye are you keeping on Denzel Bentley versus Kieran Smith tomorrow?
An extremely close eye. If anything, I'll be like, I'm basically in the ring with him, in spirit.
Are you going to get in the ring after? Are you going to jump in?
Go in and pull them out?
No, but listen, at the end of the day, like I said, it's the 160-pound division. Frank Warren Promotions, Denzel Bentley, Nathan Heaney. I've been saying it for ages. It's easy fights to make on the paper. Let's make it happen and see who's number one at 160.
Absolutely.
Exciting.
Brilliant. I love that. Well, Hamza, thank you. Thank you for joining me. You've been brilliant.
Pleasure.
Raven, had you for about 2 minutes, but thank you
That's
for
good.
joining me.
I'll see you tomorrow for a bit
See
longer.
you tomorrow for a bit longer. Well, that's it. That concludes our... we're talking over here. That concludes our weigh-in here today at Spitalfields. It's been quite something. We've seen Joe Joyce come in around a stone lighter than what he did against Joseph Parker. Does that mean he's going to be moving around more? What does it mean? Because he's fighting someone heavier than him. That doesn't normally happen with the Juggernaut. join us from around 5:30 on the Queensberry YouTube page for the prelim bouts, and then 7 o'clock live on BT Sport 1, a monster of a card headlined by two giants, Joe the Juggernaut Joyce, Zhilei Big Bang Zhang, WBO interim heavyweight title on the line. Do not miss it.
In boxing, the heavyweight division always hits the hardest. Whilst Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk hold all the jewels, one contender stands alone as the biggest threat to the champions.
Everybody else is scared of you!
A man who has not once tasted defeat, who knows no backward step and never retreats, who crushes whatever stands at his feet.
Joe Joyce by knockout!
They call him the Juggernaut. Unbeaten, Joe Joyce is on a mission to become the heavyweight king with his granite chin, thudding power and relentless engine. It is only a matter of time before this Olympic silver medalist gets his hands on the gold. Or is it? Whilst the Juggernaut has steamrolled his way to mandatory challenger, there is now a great wall that stands in his way. A gigantic block that nobody has yet to truly climb over. The Big Bang, Zhilei Zhang, has been watching, waiting, wanting, just like Joyce. He has silver, he plans to make gold. Power, punch resistance, heart. A colossus that should have his own position in the queue to the world's heavyweight championship. That was unfairly taken. Saturday, April 15th, two giants collide as unbeaten heavyweight juggernaut Joe Joyce takes on Zhilei Big Bang Zhang at London's Copper Box Arena. Only one giant will be left standing.